In this episode, I share the power that came when I finally stopped lying to myself, that I didn't care about making an awesome living in my business, and how changing that perspective completely transformed my life. Welcome back to the Soft Tissue Treatment Revolution podcast, where we teach overworked massage therapists a new injury treatment system that eliminates the frustrations of not getting consistent results, allowing them to cut their treatment times by at least 50% and easily double their income. If you're new to the show and you have no idea who I am, my name is Dr. Matt Maggio, and I got my chiropractic degree well over 13 years ago, but have never performed an adjustment in practice and focused my treatments solely on doing quality soft tissue based work. So essentially, you can say I'm an anti-chiropractor chiropractor. And I believe that the best and safest treatments in the world to fix injuries and help people get out of pain are soft tissue treatments delivered by world-class massage therapists. Thanks for stopping by and checking out the show. Just a quick reminder and a change, I guess, to the format of the show. I'm going back to my old ways. I'm going to stop, watching what I say or who I might offend. I'm definitely not for everyone, and I really do enjoy using choice language. And I'm not here to fill your ears with nonsense about all the woo-woo shit that comes in the manual treatment world. And I really just want to serve as a voice of reason in a world that really just pushes people to be okay with being mediocre and just get by. I want you to get on the path to becoming personally excellent in not just your business, but in your life and how you show up every single day. So the topic this week: what happened when I, myself, stopped lying to myself that I didn't care about making lots of money in business? So I made a podcast a couple weeks ago where I just talked about how the pathway to getting to 100,000 a year working less than 20 hours. And I always get pushback on that. Like, oh, it can never happen. Won't work for me. It only works for you because you're a doctor. All this stuff, all these limiting beliefs that, people just fill their brains up with. And then I recently taught a course in Virginia to a room full of massage therapists in my system, specifically neck and shoulder treatment. And we were just talking about the idea of like charging based off the result and not the time. And so many people in the room were just like, they just have a weird relationship with money. They feel bad for charging. They want to be able to help everybody. They want to be able to make it affordable for everyone, but they're barely getting by. They're struggling. They're not making the money they need. Their personal life sucks, but they don't want to really, they just think that money's like greedy and money's bad and just something that isn't for them. It's for other people that are ripping people off. But it's really not like that. And, I got a lot of feedback after my last podcast. A lot of people liked it. A couple people didn't like it. They wrote back and said, all you care about is money and it's not about helping the people. And I feel bad for your patients because they rip you off. Like, I don't give a shit what you say. Like, eat shit. Like, I don't have time for stuff like that. And when people comment or come on my page, like, I'm not even going to engage with you. I used to engage with people, but that just makes me dumber and I'm not getting anywhere. I'm sorry that I triggered you, but just don't listen to my shit. I don't really care. I'm not talking to you. So 3 perspective changes on money. Number 1 is like, what is money for? Money is really just an exchange of energy. It's like, it's built up energy, power, I guess, to help you get other things. You work for it and then you give other people money to help you or give you something, and then vice versa. That's how it is. It's just a full exchange of energy. It's nothing to do with like emotion or like love of it or greed or like fear of it. It's just a simple thing made up by man or woman or whoever to help us like trade stuff. So we don't have to carry around a bunch of crap and trade it. That's what's been there. But it's like really messes with you on so many levels, on an emotional level, on a spiritual level. You need it. Everybody needs it. And the way things are going in society right now, you definitely need a lot more of it because shit costs a hell of a lot more than it used to cost. It's not a political rant or anything like that, but yeah, you got to make more money. Things are going up. We all need more money. Next thing is, would you rather have money or not have it? At the end of the day, what money does is it really buys you freedom and it buys you security. And I see this all the time on social media where people have like, especially massage therapists, they have like 12 different jobs. Like they're selling some bullshit. They're working another job. they're all over the place because they just don't have the money that they need. They don't really, I always say you don't really have a business, you just have a hobby, and it's not predictable in the income and everything that you do in there. And I talked about this on the last episode about like how to have predictable income, and looking at it very factually and not emotionally in your business can really help get you to that next level where you're not feeling like you're just stuck all the time. And then the last one is why charging more is better for the client and it's better for you. You know, clients that pay more money, they're just more invested in it. You know, I used to charge like 75, 80 bucks a treatment when I first started off, and those people were a pain in the ass. Then I went to this model where everyone just paid me in advance to solve their problem, anywhere from like $3,000 to $5,000. And you know what? Those people were so much easier to treat, to deal with. They were invested in the process. They did what I said. They wanted to see it get better. They were there. They were really part of it because they invested in it. It was something that truly mattered to them. When you're the cheapest one, they're just, throwing some money at it and really just trying, to find the cheapest way to get a problem fixed. I say at the end of the day, the problem with a cheap solution is it doesn't actually fix the problem. What it also does with you is it fucks with you mentally, in your own mind space. When you're not charging what you're worth, it makes you devalue what you do yourself. And then you don't think you're worth it. Then the client can pick up on that. And then it's just a never ending cycle that puts you really in a bad spot, because it can really mess you up. And don't let it get an emotional hold of you. But don't be like I was too. I probably for the first like 5 or 6 years in business, I'm like, well, I don't care about money and I just want to help people. Fuck that. At the end of the day, you got to help yourself first. One of the best mantras I ever learned was this idea called lions eat first. And the idea is that if you're a lion out in the savannah or the prairie or whatever, you have a bunch of other lions that are dependent on you. And if you don't take care of yourself, you can't help any of them. So if you're always worried about money, worried about what's going to come in, paying your bills, finding clients, doing all that stuff, you can't really be focused. You really can't be present in the practice. And then you don't have extra money to do stuff. You can't take more courses. You can't invest in marketing. You can't invest in other employees because you're always just trying to get by each month. And that's when I go back to the idea that like, you don't have a business. You actually just have like a hobby, and it's not consistent in what you do. I got really good advice from my mentor. This is when I started changing my perspectives about 10 years ago or so. I mean, I'm getting old. And it was really amazing when he said this to me, and it still sticks. And this is the number one piece of advice that I give to other providers that are just starting out. And they're like, hey, what can I do? Do you have any advice for a new practitioner starting out? And the best advice I ever got early in my career was focus on solving problems for people better than anyone else around you. Once again, focus on solving problems better than anyone else around you. Once you do that, then learn how to do it faster, and you'll be amazed at where your business can go. That was some really awesome advice, and it really stuck with me over the years. I talk the idea a lot on the podcast and throughout these years. I've been doing the podcast for like 6 years now, and I say this all the time: really focus more on providing solutions as opposed to services. It's really key. So just some closing tidbits on money. Number one is it really is the scorecard for what is the best treatment. In my younger years, and I still do it every once in a while, I'll get into it with people online about their revolutionary treatment and this amazing thing, and we'll go back and forth. And at the end of the day, they'll be like, well, does your treatment have any research behind it? Just a bunch of shit. And like I said, never argue with people on the internet. Really just waste everybody's time and just makes things a lot worse across the board. But at the end of the day, I say to them, well, how much do they pay you for treatment? They say, well, they pay me this. And I go, well, they pay me triple that for 15 or 20 minutes. So at the end of the day, my shit's better. You might think that's cocky. You might think that's arrogant, but I put a lot of time, a lot of effort into being really good at solving a specific problem and then doing it better and faster than everyone else. Like I say, if I can solve a problem in 15 or 20 minutes, it takes another provider 2 hours. I am 6 or 7 times more valuable. Next is price is what they pay. Value is what they get. Focus on that. Instead of focusing on the price, focus on the value in solving that problem. If someone's in chronic pain, they've been to 10 different providers, they've seen everyone across the board, they're not any better, and you can help them get out of chronic pain, that is really, really, really valuable. And next is the job of the business itself isn't to make money, it's really to solve problems better than anyone else out there. And if you can solve more problems than other people, then what happens is you can start to free up a lot of things in the back end. And now what happens is now the money is actually the reward from doing that amazing and awesome work. I think I got one more in here. Let me see. I had to take some notes on this. And then lastly, just stop having such a weird relationship with money. Don't let it have power over you, but understand having more of it can solve a lot of your daily problems in life and help you free up headspace to continue to get better and help a hell of a lot more people get out of pain and really make a difference in people's lives. So that's all I got for the podcast this week. I appreciate you watching, appreciate you listening. And as I close out every episode, go out there and be great this week. The world needs access to your awesome treatments so they can stay the hell away from the traditional medical model, which only makes things worse and ruins people's lives. I appreciate you watching or listening, and I'll catch you on the next one.